everyone, it's Jack and Sam from Cultaholic.com. It's Tuesday, gotta get down on Tuesday. That's not makes sense. But don't worry, because there's always some news, despite my butchering of Rebecca Black's Glorious Song Friday. And it's really big news. It's actually a pretty big news day, to be honest.
It's massive.
Yes, so let's take a look at all of the headlines. First of all, The Undertaker returned last night on Raw and has been booked for a match at Extreme Rules. Next up, there has been huge beef on Twitter between Seth Rollins and Will Ospreay. And finally, an NXT superstar has been pulled from some upcoming dates due to a suspected injury. So first of all, last night on Raw, let's start with the big news because...
I'm a happy boy.
Oh, well, of course you are.
Yes.
There was a huge return last night and it was The Undertaker. This happened during the middle of a match, a handicap match between Roman Reigns and the team of Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon.
Yep.
The heels were beating down Roman, beating him down. I think Drew hit a Claymore, Shane hit a spear, mocking Roman, doing the ooh-ah thing. It all hope looked lost, Sam, for the big dog.
Yes.
But when you need him the most, guess who bloody shows up? The dead man himself. Shane got on the top rope for the coast to coast, and as he got up on the top, there was the gong. Renee immediately went, no!
Yeah, she ruined it. There was no room for it to breathe. Usually it's the gong, and then the lights go out, and then commentary go, oh my God!
Yeah.
It just went, good, and she went, oh no!
Yeah. When the lights came back up, Undertaker was stood in the ring. Shane jumped off at him. Undertaker caught him and hit a weird choke slam, I think it's fair to say.
Well, he got him up. He got the height and everything right, but it didn't follow through with the throwdown. He sort of just got to here and let him go.
He just went...
like he was dribbling a basketball.
It was great. Shane bumped well for it.
Oh, yeah, he bumped really well.
Then Undertaker took out Drew with some punches because he's the purest striker in the game.
In the game, yeah.
Threw them both out the ring. And then, you know, Taker and Roman didn't stand tall in the ring. Roman was still selling, but they ran off the heels.
The heels went up the ramp, and it was really funny because just as Undertaker's doing his big pose, you know, the cut throat, eyes back, tongue out, it cuts back to Shane and Drew, and as he's doing it, Drew just puts his hand on Shane's leg, like, oh no, what are we going to do?
Now, this has already led to a match that's been announced for Extreme Rules. Tag team action, Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon versus Roman Reigns and Undertaker, the big dogs in the big yard.
Yeah. It's their yard.
Now, I suspect, and there's been speculation on this immediately since it happened, that this was Undertaker going, look, that match against Goldberg wasn't how I wanted to go out. We all saw the look on his face after the match.
Oh God, yeah.
And I think he wants to kind of right some wrongs before he eventually hangs up his boots. I don't think this will be his last match by any stretch of the imagination. No. I've always suspected that Taker's going to retire at Survivor Series because that's where he came in.
That's what I'd like because it's cyclical. Yeah, I like cyclical stories.
Or WrestleMania.
Yeah,
but I reckon this will lead to probably a match at SummerSlam, maybe against Drew, just Drew.
I mean, I was so upset after that Saudi Arabia match. It was just sad. It made me want to never see Undertaker wrestle again. But we're not going to have to sort of worry about him getting knackered too much if it's a tag.
Yeah, it's a tag match.
He can come in, he can hit the big three, and then that's it. Yeah. Probably hit old school. And, you know, he doesn't have to carry the brunt of the weight of the match.
Hopefully.
So, hopefully it'll be a bit of a bigger... He didn't seem to be limping as much last night as well when he came back, but that being said, he only moved around the ring very minimally, so we don't really know.
So obviously, I mean, Undertaker being on any pay-per-view makes it an extra big draw, but especially like a B pay-per-view, do you know what I mean? Not one of the big four.
I mean, it's a reason to watch Extreme Rules.
Yes, certainly. Yeah. I just wonder what it's going to lead to, because this is surely going to lead to another match or maybe a series of matches, and I suspect it might be Drew.
I wouldn't have a problem with Drew retiring Taker.
No.
I'd have an issue with Shane doing it.
Yeah.
But if Drew retires Taker, it fulfills the Chosen One prophecy, I guess, and they can go back to that. And mega heat.
Yes.
If he ultimately retires Taker, but as we know, Undertaker's never really dead. So.
Oh, he's always dead.
He's always dead. But he's never gonna die forever.
Yeah, that sounds like a James Bond film.
Yeah. Never gonna die forever.
Now let's delve into the world of Twitter beef.
Beef.
Because there's been some bloody beef. Well, first of all, there was some beef earlier on between David Starr and Pete Dunne. I don't know if you saw this one, just as a little preface.
When he stamped on the old title-a-roo.
David Starr, I think I might have missed the full story on this, because David Starr stamped on the Walter's NXT UK title during a match at OTT, and then Pete Dunne was kicking off. Now, there must have been more to it, because surely no wrestler would kick off at a thing that happened as part of a storyline in a match.
It's just going to harken back to all of this indie versus signed nonsense that's going on.
Very strange.
I get it, you know, proud to be independent, proud to be signed, all of that stuff, fine. But people are sort of gatekeeping. It's really weird.
I couldn't work out who was wrong.
Yeah.
In this one, there seems to have been a clear victor in the Seth Rollins versus Will Ospreay Twitter beef. So it all started with Seth, during Stomping Grounds, tweeting after the Cruiserweight match, "This is the best wrestling on the planet."
Period. Full stop.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it was a good match, other than that. But I think it's a very interesting time to be claiming that WWE's main roster product is the best wrestling on the planet when you've got, obviously, AEW impressing massively with their first show.
Yep.
You've got NXT, which always knocks it out of the park.
And you've also got a half-full arena.
And yes, and you've got a half-full arena. And also, New Japan are firing on all cylinders as well. And the G1's approaching. Now, he was sort of championing this whole thing, and I get why he was, because he's, he's the top babyface at the minute of the biggest promotion in wrestling. You've kind of got to represent the company and stuff. But then Will Ospreay, then Rollins started to say as well, also, no one does it like I do. I'm the best wrestler around.
Well, I mean, like Jericho, Ospreay, and Tam are all bit, and Jericho's was the funniest. That first tweet, anyway, Jericho just responded with a laughing emoji.
Okay.
And then Rollins tweeted the doubling down tweet.
Yes.
Where he said, "Doubling down, best pro wrestler on the planet. See that cruiserweight triple threat, and that's just one night." So yeah. And then what happened, Jack?
Then, in response to him claiming that he's the best wrestler around, Will Ospreay replied with, "I'm alive." And to be honest, right, it sounds very arrogant, but if you look at all the wrestlers in the world and the 2019 they've had so far, I feel like Will Ospreay's had the best one.
I think Will Ospreay is, for my money, the best pro wrestler, sort of exciting and working regular matches all the time.
Right.
For my money, in 2019.
So then Rollins replied, "I'm sorry, little guy. We already have a better version of you here, and he just won his first US title tonight. Congrats, King Ricochet. Keep working hard though, buddy." Ospreay replied with a gif of David Brent going, "Oh, you're hard." It's so weird because we're so used to Ospreay. Ospreay's a nice guy in person, but he puts his foot in it a lot on Twitter, and it's just weird seeing him win a Twitter argument. Rollins then made a fatal error, as the saying goes. It ain't funny if you've got to talk about your money. Rollins went, because Rollins was talking about how he works day in and day out, and he's always on the grind.
But then, he said all that, and then Ospreay responded with a tweet that basically said he's wrestled more matches in 2019 than Rollins has.
Rollins went, "If you want to talk numbers, then we can compare bank accounts too." Whoa!
P.S. That's counting a month off with a broken back. Thumbs up emoji, buddy.
Ospreay defended himself, and he wasn't the only person to defend himself because various people did. Jericho did, again. Tama Tonga did as well. And lots of fans as well. Basically, I think that the argument seemed to go, like Rollins was going, "This is the best wrestling in the world and I'm the best wrestler." And Ospreay went, "I'm pretty good at wrestling too though." And then Rollins went, "I'm richer than you though." As
I've said to you earlier on today, it smacks of the thing that Booker T apparently happened between Booker T and CM Punk, where somebody left a bottle on the floor of the changing room. Booker T's reading a newspaper and CM Punk came in and was like, "As locker room leader, this shouldn't be happening, clean it up." And Booker T didn't even look up, and he was just reading, and he went, "If you have to call yourself locker room leader, you're not locker room leader."
I think everyone seems to say that Roman Reigns is the locker room leader. I don't really know. But it's a strange one because I feel like it kind of makes WWE seem a little bit like overprotective of, like they're a bit, you can tell that certain people are kind of getting defensive and a bit worried because, I mean, obviously WWE are leagues ahead of everyone else in terms of I guess financial ability and size and everything. But in terms of quality, I think it's a very strange time to be claiming that they're the best wrestling on the planet.
Yeah, and the fact he used pro wrestling as well, he specified best pro wrestling on the planet. It's a very, very big claim. And then, the second he brought money into it, he just came off like a bit of a douche.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Will Ospreay on winning a Twitter argument. I think he's done really well. Proud of you. I don't know what else to say.
Buddy.
It'll be interesting. It doesn't look like it's slowing down. They were still tweeting like about an hour or two before we came in here. Or Rollins was, at least anyway. He looks right rattled, he does.
Yeah, just roll with it, mate. Just roll with it. Stop biting. Stop it.
Next up, we have to report on an apparent, it seems like an injury to an NXT superstar that hasn't been confirmed yet. But all the kind of factors in play do make it seem like an injury. Unfortunately, as well, it's one of my faves. It's Kyle O'Reilly of the Undisputed Era. He's been pulled from this weekend's Evolve 129 and 130 shows. Evolve often run double shots, like back-to-back shows.
Back-to-back weekends.
Yes. Now, Evolve tweeted, "We are sorry to inform you that Kyle O'Reilly will not be able to compete at Evolve this weekend. We were just given the news. We'll have more information on updated cards later today or tomorrow. Thank you for your understanding." O'Reilly was originally scheduled to team with Roderick Strong against JD Drake and Anthony Henry, and then the next day he was set to take on Josh Briggs one-on-one with Bobby Fish in his corner. Fish was originally meant to be on these shows too, but he was pulled due to an injury. But they haven't given a reason for O'Reilly's absence, so we don't know 100% that it's for an injury, but we kind of can link it to him having to pull out of the download shows. It's NXT UK, but O'Reilly was going to kind of be
well, they have guest. They pepper in some of the US guys.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
But he said, the medical man, it's very kind of right. The medical man told me that my back is still hurt, so unfortunately I won't be able to attend Download Fest this year. Sorry to all the great UK fans, believe me, I'm gutted to be missing Tool.
I was gutted I didn't go. Miss Slayer's last UK day and Tool.
But at least now Rick Boogs, or Eric Bugenhagen, has an actual chance of winning the air guitar contest.
Richard Bogies.
So yeah, if Kyle O'Reilly is injured, if this is why if his injury's continued and that's why he's had to pull out of the Evolve shows, that's sad news and we wish him a very speedy recovery. And if not, then I guess we'll find out in due course what it is.
Yeah, and I guess if there's any more news later today, we'll hopefully have some information on the Evolve updates.
We'll keep you bloody posted. And finally, let's just recap for fun and news and fun.
For fun banty boys.
Yeah, the WWE 24/7 Championship shenanigans. There were two segments primarily involving the WWE 24/7 Championship. The first one saw R-Truth as a guest on Miz TV. Carmelo was there with him as well. Miz was asking him about what's it like being 24/7 champion, and Truth was like, I can't go to the grocery store, which I hope was a reference to when Booker T got his ass kicked by Steve Austin. But I don't know if no, because that wasn't for the hardcore belt, that was just a feud.
Yeah.
But I love that segment. Also, he said that he can't sleep, and that people turn up to his house dressed as cops. I don't know if that was meant to imply that actual police go to his house a lot or not, but it was a weird one. Then Drake Maverick came out still dressed in his wedding clothes. He's clearly not.
He said
had
he
a
had
good
his tie
time.
around his head and
yes.
that. He's been definitely on the drink.
Yes. He said, look, I'm a broken man. My wife won't go on her honeymoon. We haven't even consummated the marriage yet. And R-Truth thought he meant constipated, and he said fiber's good for that and all this sort of stuff. And then Maverick got in the ring and said, look, I just want a shot. I need a shot of the belt. I need to win the love of my life back. And Carmelo went, R-Truth, give him a shot. He wants to just win his wife back. And he went, I don't mean my wife. I mean the 24/7 Championship. And he said in a bit of a Westminster, I just mean the 24/7 Championship. And everyone was like, oh, right. They had a match which Truth won in seconds, but the action wasn't done yet. And there were so many title changes, Sam, for the 24/7 title. This is what we wanted. I'm very happy about this. Adam Pacini won't be happy because this second 24/7 part of the show interrupted a planned singles match between Heath Slater and Mojo Rawley.
It's all right, Mojo signed a massive contract. He's there for ages.
I'll be fine then. But he didn't get a chance to... Right, when this was happening, I was like, Mojo's going to win the belt. Adam's going to be delighted. But it didn't happen. Instead, Truth ran out being chased by everyone. Had to escape into the ring. It was the only place to go. Heath Slater pinned him with a neck breaker and won the title. Then... he kind of ran around a bit and was fending off people on the outside, got back in the ring. Truth pinned him to win the title back. Then Cedric Alexander ran in, a big lumbar check, bang, and now Cedric Alexander's the champion. He rolls to the outside. EC3 hits a sick, what's it called, the 1%?
Yeah.
On the belt, it looked almost like. Cedric took a wicked bump. EC3 was the champion, that got a pop. Everyone was like, oh, EC3. And then he was celebrating on the ramp. Carmelo came up behind him and took the title. He turned around, and when he was distracted, Truth rolled him up and became a 9-time WWE 24/7 champion.
This is what I wanted. I can't wait until maybe a year from now where Truth is billed as a 98-time.
I've got to say that I mean, it's been quite fun anyway, but Truth and Drake Maverick have made it so good. Yeah. They've really made it really entertaining.
I just wish Booker T was still around and involved with this, because obviously you could have like him just going 9 times, like won the belt like 20 times, just saying it 20 times, it'd be great.
Oh, I want to see it. Have we seen it on a pay-per-view yet? I don't know if we've seen any.
I don't think, like, there hasn't been a real match for it yet. So
no.
I'd like for there to be a big scramble, like a ridiculous match, but I think the most opportune time would have been during that 50-man Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
And that would have been great if it just kept changing hands to the point where it was impossible to keep track of. Like, it would have been brilliant.
But it's looking pretty good. As we reported the other day, R-Truth was recently voted in a WWE.com poll the most popular champion in WWE.
He's so funny, and he can still go.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. The guy's like nearly 50, and he can still go.
It's amazing. Just before we go, that's reminded me of when Roman Reigns wished him a happy birthday in the ring and said it was like his 56th birthday or something. You can see Truth just being like, do it. It's really good. Well, that's it for the news. What a huge day. Who's going to win that Undertaker match, Sam?
Is it going to be Roman Reigns and Undertaker? Is it the dogs?
I don't know, because...
The dogs of the yard?
I think so, but how does that set up a match?
Unless they cheat to win, like ref bump, massive chair shot on Taker, and everybody's like, you can't do that, he's an old man. And
yeah.
He just gets extra heat, and maybe it's Drew that hits him with the chair, then you get the singles match.
Maybe. Well, we'll look forward
Battle
to that.
of the old giants.
And I can't work it out. But one thing we know for certain is that Rollins versus Ospreay will never happen, which is really sad. Thanks very much for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments section down below. You can follow Cultaholic on Twitter at Cultaholic and on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do, then please do check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Cultaholic, where you can pledge. And don't forget, of course, most importantly of all, to hit subscribe and to join us.